Complesso conventuale di Santa Caterina. The convent of Santa Caterina. The Dominican convent of Santa Caterina was founded in 1359 by the del Carretto family as a family chapel and place of burial. The medieval church was rectangular, with a central nave and two side aisles, which were divided by ogee arches supported by simple capitals of finale stone. All three ended in rectangular chapels in the Lombard style, with groin vaulted ceilings and a straight, rather than jutting-out, back wall. On the outside, elegant pillars made of finale stone are set along the gabled façade facing east towards the square and the town centre. The extreme linearity of this structure, the simplicity of its volumes, and the essential decorations all fall in with the architectural style of the religious mendicant or begging orders to which the Dominican Preachers belonged, and who served this church from its foundation up to 1864. Large, soaring, single lancet windows opened up onto the south side and the apse, while the exterior still features a Lombard band with small entwined brickwork hanging arches, with a painted decoration of red dots, crosses, and stars on a frame meant to look like terracotta tiles. There used to be two doors opening out onto the south wall. The larger one, called the ladies' door, was set within a 15th century late Gothic portal, whose posts are formed by slight splayed pilasters and capitals with hook-shaped leaves surmounted by miniature heads and images of animals, which fall in with the late Romanesque decorative style. Beneath the archway of the portal is a lintel of finale stone with the Agnus Dei, or Lamb of God, between two del Carretto coat of arms, separated by thistle flowers and leaves. The smaller gentleman's door is decorated with a fresco of the Virgin Mary and St. Catherine, which is set inside the ogee arch with an arrelief cross. The two cloisters were built between the end of the 15th and the beginning of the 16th centuries, and are based on architectural models from Lombardy, with an open gallery on the upper floors. Carlo Domenico del Carretto's influence can be seen all over this part of the building, as we know from his coat of arms on some of the capitals of the first cloister. Historical sources tell us that this important member of the del Carretto family was appointed cardinal by Pope Julius II in 1505, and died in Rome in 1514. The first cloister features a series of classicizing capitals, decorated with stylized acanthus leaves and volute, bearing different renditions of the del Carretto coat of arms. The cloister and church were connected through an open atrium or hallway, with vaults supported by a central column and the bishop's insignia on the capital. The capitals on the western side of the second cloister are archaic, whereas those on the remaining three sides are more refined, with religious, secular, heraldic, and floral motifs. After a lively religious and artistic season at the Finalese convent between the end of the 15th and the beginning of the 16th centuries, the Dominican settlement slowly declined, due to the historical turmoil that swept across the Finale in the second half of the 16th century. Despite repeated enlargements and refurbishments, difficulties inside the convent increased over the following centuries, due to dwindling patronage from the marquis and to a gradual replacement of the ancient mendicant orders by newly formed, more dynamic religious congregations. The convent finally closed with the arrival of Napoleon's troops and was dispossessed by the Provisional Government of the Ligurian Republic in 1789. After that, it was used as a barracks, an army hospital, and a prison, With the reinstatement of the Savoia family in 1825, property of the convent returned to the Dominican friars. However, the old church was no longer perceived as adequate to the needs of the times. Extensive modernization was decided upon according to drawings compiled by Finalese architect Domenico Porro, who turned the apse inside out and knocked down the medieval colonnade to create a single-roomed building. The new church was used for little over 30 years, as in 1864 Italian unity politics on ecclesiastical matters decreed that the convent should be closed, the Dominican community banished, and the altarpieces and furnishings transferred to the nearby parish church of San Biagio. The building was then used as a prison until 1964. A tour of the solitary confinement cells in the 14th century bell tower is well worth it. The whole building was restored between 1992 and 2001, and the church is now used as a congress hall and auditorium. The upper floor of the convent around the cloisters houses the archaeological museum of the Finale area, which has been set up along the corridors where the doors to the former dormitory used to be, with their painted portraits of prominent 17th and 18th century Dominican friars. The building to the west is now part of the Oratorio dei Disciplinati, used for art exhibitions. The wall of the so-called Sala degli Archi, literally arches room, on the ground floor, still bear traces of the medieval fresco paintings. The atmosphere in the rooms on the upper floors is still similar to when the rooms were used as prison painting and weaving workshops.